All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So I'm just getting home now, and on the way back, I was listening to the Saleh presser, and there's still no update with Haasan Reddick. Now, Saleh didn't really sound too pressed about it. He didn't sound too worried. He's focused on the guys that are there. The guys that are actually going to be, they've not only just been showing up, but the guys who are going to be dressing for game day. Saleh did mention that if Reddick decides to show up, that he's going to meet with the trainers and basically have a role with the team moving forward. But at this point, right, Reddick has skipped all of these different days, all of these different preseason games. He's skipped. He's left so much money out on the table by skipping literally every single day of training camp, every single day of mini camp, and every preseason game. It's seriously insane how much money Reddick has been fined. Now, of course, Reddick wants his new deal, but as far as what the potential, the possibility of Reddick taking this into the regular season, I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below. Could this actually be a thing? Could this actually happen? Again, we got an update with some 49ers stuff, which we're going to dive into in a second. One of those is Trent Williams coming back, ending his holdout. A lot of people were hopeful that it was going to end it this week, but man, we're literally today's Tuesday. We're less than a week away from the first game. So unless Reddick shows up on like that last day, like right before the game, to where he's not being fined game checks. But yeah, this whole thing is crazy. We've beaten the subject to death. It's been I would say, one of the top 3 storylines, unfortunately, surrounding the New York Jets this entire training camp period. But the one thing that we do know about the Reddick situation is that he's dead serious on getting a new deal. Dead serious. Like, you're not gonna skip all these days and have the start of the season up in the air, in question, literally be fined millions and millions of dollars. If you weren't serious about it. And also, one weird thing that Saleh said, in this presser, is that he hasn't spoke to Reddick since before training camp. But a couple of weeks ago, Saleh said that he did speak to Reddick, but he didn't want to disclose when. And that was like additional to when he already, told the media that he spoke to Reddick before. So kind of a weird situation there. But this entire situation is weird. So, it is what it is. I'm hoping a solution is before the season at some point. You got to think that something gets done, but I've been saying that, I want to say, every couple weeks since we got him. So, which was back in March, crazy enough. But as far as the San Francisco 49ers, they had a couple of breaking news stories as well, according to Adam Schefter. Trent Williams reached a contract extension with San Fran. He is now back. Status up in the air still for week 1, but there's a pretty good chance that he could play, right? He knows the system. He knows the team. He knows what they want to accomplish on the offensive side of the football. He's been with the 49ers for years now. So, obviously there's going to be a little bit of rust, but not as much as, say, Haasan Reddick. Now, the other bit of news is also coming out from Adam Schefter here, which is that Christian McCaffrey is back practicing, and McCaffrey did miss a section of training camp. I believe it was due to a calf injury, strained calf injury, if my memory serves me correctly. So again, he's back. So as far as his potential availability for the game, it's looking like he's gonna play. So, and obviously, going back a couple weeks now, Brandon Ayuk signed his extension. So all of the players that that maybe had a question mark, Leonard Floyd, again, Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, it seems like all these guys are gearing up and should be ready to go for week 1. As far as the New York Jets standpoint is concerned, it shouldn't change a thing, right? As far as the game plan goes, and I talked a lot about it in the preview video, which I'll leave listed down below in the description box. My personal mindset is the Jets got to stick to their strengths, right? We're going across the country on Monday Night Football, playing against one of the best teams in the NFL. Stick to your strengths, right? What are the strengths? Running the football. All of these investments made on the offensive line. One of the best running backs in football in Breece Hall. You have Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, 2 young powerful running backs behind him with Izzy as the RB4. I mean, if they're cycling in 4 different running backs, it's going to be like you got to have the not only just the patience but also just the capability to deal with 4 running backs having fresh legs really throughout the course of the game, which would then open up downfield passing off of play action, which we know Hackett likes to utilize a lot, with Aaron Rodgers and Mike Williams and Garrett Wilson and everybody that can hurt San Francisco, not necessarily over the top every time, but over the middle of the field. And once you have San Francisco playing on their toes a little bit, creeping up to the line of scrimmage, them assuming that there's going to be lots of running action, that's when you kind of burn them. Not in super obvious situations, though. Defensively, of course, the Jets have a top 3 defense in football, so I'm not extremely worried about it. But I will say, from the safety position, I think we really need a lot of production here. Being able to wrap up an open space, limit yards after catch, being able to cover George Kittle. Linebackers, can they get to the edge? Right, we know San Francisco likes to kick it outside a ton, whether it's McCaffrey, whether it's just a simple outside zone handoff, whether it's a pitch play, whether it's a screen. They like to get the ball to the perimeter. Can the linebackers present a high enough defensive IQ to where they can recognize what's going on in that specific play and then meet that running back on the outside? Or are they late getting there, and by the time the linebackers late getting there, whether it's they're getting chipped from a pulling offensive lineman, whether it's not enough recognition to identify what's happening, they're caught in quicksand, they're worried about something else, pre-snap motion. By the time this linebacker is on his way, the running back or the ball carrier is already passed him by. So big, and that's massive when you're playing a team that runs a system like this with San Francisco. So it's going to be a big matchup. But as far as the game plan and Jets' chances of winning and all these different things, I really don't think it's going to change all that much. San Francisco is a great team with or without these players. Granted, they make a big difference, but I'm still viewing this as a back and forth, low scoring affair pretty much all night. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.